Hey guys, M.V.K here, coming to you again. How's everybody doing out there? And welcome once again back to another edition of this week's Characters, Why I Liked Them. Forgive me, guys, if you start hearing me chomping on something. I'm actually in the middle of something. I'm eating something, sorry.
He's eating that cheese sandwich he told y'all to eat a couple of days ago.
Yeah. Um, and as you can see, guys, the character I'm here to talk about is notably considered the first female, the first lady of fighting games, the first lady of the Street Fighter universe, the one, the only Chun-Li. Yeah, Chun-Li. Uh, if you don't like her, there's one thing I've always said about Chun-Li. If you may not like her, but you have to respect her, and that is one thing. But with me, I like her and I respect her. She proves time and time again that the Street Fighter universe is not just for boys. It's not a man's world. And she can hang with the big boys. And she can take it to the big boys. Uh, she, of course, as you all know, she was first introduced in the second Street Fighter game. And from there, she's pretty much been in every Street Fighter game that has been put out. Whether it's been she was younger or whether she's been older, it doesn't matter. But she's pretty much been in every Street Fighter game since, and pretty much almost all the crossovers. Uh, Chun-Li has a very significant look to her. Now, I wouldn't say she looks like your traditional Asian girl. You know, to me, her outfit kind of looks more like you would see something like that in a wrestling ring. Like, she looks kind of like a wrestler to me. That's just me. But Chun-Li. But she definitely has the look that people recognize her right off the get-go. She has the two buns, so it makes you wonder if, she kind of has like that Princess Leia look a little bit. But the and of course she has the spiked bracelets on her and the long boots. But the most important thing she's had that pretty much recognized is the legs. Her very powerful, thick legs that all the designers always seem to make sure when they draw her or whoever is scripting her that there's the legs. Uh, of course, during the Alpha series, that's her younger version of her. She wore sneakers and more, but still, they kept the legs. Uh, Chun-Li is perhaps one of the people in the Street Fighter universe that Bison has done wrong to. Okay, yes, Bison. And let's face it, Bison has done wrong to a lot of people in the Street Fighter universe. But Chun-Li has a very, very, very significant role with Bison and why, she hates him and she wants to bring him in or take him out. Bison killed her father. And as a undercover cop or Interpol agent, however you want to call it, she went undercover in the tournament to investigate Shadow Law and pretty much also to avenge her father's death. Uh, Chun-Li, the way I like Chun-Li is the way is pretty much how I like my women. She comes off as a very powerful woman, strong-willed, strong-minded, to the point where she doesn't need a knight in shining armor to help her. but she doesn't. She does not. She does not um, disrespect having help in a way. So she's all for somebody helping her out. Even she knows sometimes when she's way over her head. But she comes off so vividly, so imaginative of the strong woman. And despite her nationality, she's just a strong, powerful female. Now, her her name. Let's get a little bit to her name. Her name in Mandarin means Chung, meaning spring, Li, meaning beautiful. So beautiful, spring beautiful, or however you want to consider it. But her fighting style, and being that I see a lot of, here's what I see, okay? With, her strong, swift kicks dedicated to her powerful legs, that's pretty much where all her attacks come from, her powerful legs. I see when she does her defensive style is more of, I see a lot of Tai Chi involved in her when she's defensive. I also see a lot of Kung Fu as well. But then I've also seen a lot of her kicks based off of uh, a movie, actually. One of my favorite movies called Iron Monkey. I've seen them she do some kicks in there that I've seen in Iron Monkey, and I'm like, hey, okay. Like these shadowless kicks, I've seen her do. Uh, but nonetheless, Chung Li very much is a very, very decent character. And to me, she deserves the respect of being the first lady of fighting games because, in a way, you can kind of see some influences from a lot of females in fighting games now, even if you don't want to admit it. I'll take one for example. They seem to always put these two together. Mai Shiranui from the Fatal Fury series, she reminds me of a more outgoing, more free-spirited Chung Li, where, even though she's a ninja, but I still see bits and pieces of Chung Li. Sonya Blade reminds me of Chung Li. Very powerful, strong-willed woman in law enforcement. And she shows you time and time again that, it's not just a man's world. So you can go on and go on about more about Chung Li. Now, her character-wise, she's a very open people person. That's one thing they always do, right? The best example to me, of what explores Chung Li as a whole is the Street Fighter 2 animated movie. That is the best representation of Chung Li. Strong female, can handle herself in a fight. And the battle between her and Vega in that battle was probably one of the highlights of that movie. That fight was probably one of the highlights. Despite all the fights they had with Ryu and Ken and everybody like that, that fight between Chung Li and Vega was great. Vega basically is hired by Bison to kill her. Vega enters her apartment and she's pretty much fighting Vega in pretty much a nightgown. And it at times seemed like Vega had the upper hand until she just whooped that ass. And she did her famous lightning kick. And she did it so bad to Vega. And when I mean bad, just so hardcore, was that he was making an impression in the wall before she kicked him through that wall. Just showing how strong she really is. Live action wise, not so well. You had the actress Ming Na, who I am a big fan of because I love her work when she's not, because she's big into like the sci-fi stuff now, and I see her in a lot of shows now, and I like her work then. But I didn't see Chung Li when she played her. And then you had Christian Kirk from Smallville play her. And once again, I didn't see Chung-Li in them. Chung-Li, to me, when I think of Chung-Li, I think of a very physically fit woman that looks very much like a woman, is all woman, but comes off not intimidating. But when you look at her, you're like, you know, she looks like she can do some damage. Don't mess with her. Uh, Looks like she will kick your ass if you piss her off. When I looked at Miss Ming Na and Kirsten Kirk, I just looked at two females that are wannabe Chung Lee's. That's pretty much all I saw, and that's sad. Because sometimes you can't beat you can't beat just the drawings of Chung Li and try to go live action. I prefer her animated and beside than live action. That's how I look at Chung Li, and that's how I prefer to look at Chung Li. Um, but like I said, another version of how they did Chung Li pretty well was uh, in the comics as well. Comics have done her pretty well, especially when Udon took over the Street Fighter license, and they really did a good job with the Street Fighter characters and many of the Capcom characters they did. Udon took over Rival Schools, which was good. Darkstalkers and Street Fighter. They did a pretty decent job with all those licenses. And if you haven't picked those up, you should try to find those in trade or whatever. They're really good. But like I said, Chung Li is pretty much a major factor in the Street Fighter legacy, as well as being just all in all just the first female. Just that you hold something to that beat. She in way is like Wonder Woman. That's how you can kind of transition them. She's the Wonder Woman of fighting games. She's the first. And but besides that, that's not the reason why I like her, respect her. Her character, what she stands for, everything like that is what draws me to Chung Li. And if it wasn't for her, kinda, there would be no other big famous females in the Street Fighter universe like Cammy and Ibuki and Jurai and Ellen and Sakura and all these other great characters in the Street Fighter universe, as well as in other fighting game universe. It's all thanks to her. And she proves time and time again, like I said, that it's not a man's world. And I'm going to leave it at that, guys. But you guys tell me what you think about Chung Li. Do you feel that she deserves that title? Do you think that she is portrayed right? The whole 9 yard, guys. And once again, this is Mount Vernon Kid showing off the first character for this week's characters and why I like them. And I will be right back, guys, with the next character. Take it easy.